Amanda, come taste the stew for me.
I'm not hungry, Mom.
Just one spoon.
I said I'm not hungry.
Amanda, don't forget your lunch.
I don't want it today.
But you'll be hungry.
I said I don't want it.
At first, Amanda ignored the thoughts. She told herself they didn't matter. After all, Juliana was her friend. It wasn't wrong to admire her. But admiration had a dangerous way of turning into envy when you're not careful. And before Amanda realized it, she had started comparing her life with Juliana's every single day. Whenever Juliana stepped out of the luxurious SUV that dropped her off each morning, Amanda couldn't help staring. Whenever Juliana wore a new pair of shoes, Amanda noticed. Whenever Juliana showed up with another fashionable school bag, Amanda noticed. Whenever the girls in class complimented Juliana's clothes or talked about the places she had visited during the holiday, Amanda listened quietly. Then she would think about her own life, their small house, her father's furniture workshop, her mother's saloon, the old dining table they had used for years, the simple clothes neatly folded inside her wardrobe. For the first time in her life, none of it seemed good enough. The confident, cheerful Amanda her parents knew slowly began to disappear. One Saturday afternoon, Mrs. Richard called from the kitchen. "Amanda." "Yes, Mom. Come and have a taste of the stew. Tell me if you need more pepper." Normally, Amanda would run into the kitchen with excitement. She loved moments like this. But this time, she barely looked up from her book. "I'm not hungry." Mrs. Richard frowned. "You don't have to be hungry to taste it. I said I'm not hungry." The sharpness in Amanda's voice caught her mom by surprise. She quietly returned to the pot.
Amanda, come taste the stew for me.
I'm not hungry, Mom.
Just one spoon.
I said I'm not hungry.
Later that evening, Mr. Richard noticed the unusual silence at dinner. "Princess," Amanda looked up. "How was school this week?" "It was fine." "Anything interesting happened?" "No." She answered every question with one word before returning to her food. Mr. Richard exchanged a worried glance with his wife. Something was changing and neither of them understood why. The weeks passed. Amanda's requests became more frequent. "Mom, I need a new backpack." "But yours is still in good condition." "This one isn't fashionable anymore." A few days later, "Dad, can you buy me those sneakers everyone is wearing?" Mr. Richard smiled gently. "They're beautiful, but they are quite expensive." Amanda sighed loudly. They never have money. The words slipped out before she could stop them. Silence filled the room. Mr. Richard forced a smile. "I'll see what I can do." That night, long after Amanda had gone to bed, her parents sat together in the living room. "I don't recognize her anymore," Mrs. Richard said quietly. Mr. Richard leaned back in his chair. "I've noticed it too." "Did we do something wrong?" He shook his head. "I don't think so." They sat in silence. Neither of them knew that Amanda wasn't becoming a bad child. She was simply allowing comparison to steal contentment. Every morning, Mrs. Richard still woke up before sunrise. She prepared breakfast, packed lunch for her husband, then carefully packed Amanda's lunch in a neat food flask, just as she had done for years. One morning, Amanda looked at it with embarrassment. "Mom." "Yes?" "I don't want lunch today." Mrs. Richard looked surprised. "Why?" "I'm not hungry during lunch break." "You'll be hungry later." "I said I don't want it." Mrs. Richard didn't argue. She quietly unpacked the lunchbox. What Amanda didn't tell her mother was that she no longer wanted homemade food.
Amanda, don't forget your lunch.
I don't want it today.
But you'll be hungry.
I said I don't want it.
At school, many students bought meals from expensive restaurants or brought food from cafes and popular fast food outlets. Juliana often arrived with neatly packed meals that looked far more exciting than Amanda's homemade rice or jollof. Whenever Juliana shared her lunch, Amanda enjoyed every bit. Soon, she started feeling ashamed whenever she imagined opening her own lunchbox in front of her classmates. Without realizing it, she had begun measuring her mother's love by how expensive the food looked. One Friday after school, Juliana smiled excitedly. "Amanda, I have something to ask you." "What is it?" "My driver is waiting. Come home with me today." Amanda's eyes widened. "Really?" "Of course. I've been asking you for weeks." Amanda immediately agreed. The moment the SUV drove through the massive gates of Juliana's house, she was speechless. The compound alone looked bigger than her entire neighborhood. Flowers lined both sides of the driveway. There was a beautiful fountain at the center. Luxurious cars were parked neatly outside. The mansion stood tall like something from a movie. Amanda slowly stepped out of the car. She couldn't finish her sentence. Juliana laughed. "What?" "It's beautiful. Thanks." To Juliana, it was just home. To Amanda, it looked like paradise. Inside the house was even more breathtaking. The sitting room was elegantly furnished. Large chandeliers hung from the ceiling. The staircase curved gracefully towards the upper floor. Everything looked spotless. Amanda couldn't stop looking around. "Your house is amazing." Juliana smiled. "I guess. I wished I'd lived somewhere like this," Amanda said. Juliana simply smiled without saying anything. The girls spent the afternoon talking, laughing, watching movies and doing homework together. And by evening, Amanda's parents arrived to pick her up. As she entered their mother's car, she looked back at the mansion one last time. On the drive home, she stared silently through the window. Her father noticed. "Did you enjoy yourself?" "Yes," she answered. "What was Juliana's house like?" Amanda answered softly. "It's beautiful." When they finally got home, Amanda walked through the front door. For the first time, the house she had always loved suddenly looked too small, too ordinary, so plain. She walked into her bedroom and sat quietly. She looked around, then whispered to herself, "Why couldn't I have been born into a family like Juliana's?" That single question lingered in her heart for days. She became even more withdrawn, more dissatisfied. Nothing her parents did seemed enough anymore. Then, one Monday afternoon, during lunch break, Juliana smiled excitedly. "My birthday is next week." Amanda's face lit up. "Really? I'm turning 15. That's amazing. My parents are throwing a birthday party for me on Sunday." Amanda grinned. "I can't wait." Juliana hesitated a moment before adding, "And I was wondering if you like to spend the weekend with us." Amanda's eyes sparkled with excitement. "The whole weekend?" Juliana nodded. "You can come on Friday evening. We'll have so much fun before the party." Amanda could barely contain herself. She had always wanted to spend more time in that beautiful mansion.
Amanda, want to spend the weekend at my house? Really? We'll celebrate my birthday together. The whole weekend? Really? Of course! I'd love to!
She imagined the delicious food, the luxurious bedrooms, the exciting activities. Without thinking twice, she said yes. She had no idea that that weekend she had been dreaming about would completely change the way she saw her own family forever.